Folks, take a good look, because this has never been done before. A unified, a proud, and a republican Italy has arrived. We have formed it, and it is as gorgeous as it is only because of the leadership of the Republic. Folks, it's 1863, and the playthrough really only begins now, because after everything we've done, this was all domestic, it was all related to Italian affairs. Yes, obviously, we had to fight against foreigners such as the Austrians, but ultimately, it was all just for the purpose of forming Italy. And now that we exist, we have a huge world in which we have absolutely no impact, no rights, and, well, basically no clout. And that, of course, has to change. Italy needs to become international, Italy needs to get involved. We're gonna do that today. We're gonna explore, of course, what warfare looks like in this new system. If you fight, let's say, for example, natives in Africa, if you fight the, East Asians that, of course, we also want to colonize, and then on top of that, when you fight Europeans at the end of the tech level. Now, we know we're near the actual end of this series. I expect it to be at least the weekend during which we will play this one, but I think we have a lot ahead of us, including, for example, Prussia forming Germany, at least potentially forming Germany, I should say, because it's of course not just that easy. I would like to support them as well. I'm very friendly towards them and fairly hostile towards Austria. Yes, we reclaimed everything that we wanted here, but, I mean, Croatia just looks so juicy. Let's see what we can do here, but for starters, hey, this is the most monumentally positive episode start that we've ever had here, I think. And just looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure that we don't have coal in our urban centers in almost all cases. If you take a quick look right here at the night city, you will see there it is, much, much brighter. I think we want to put coal into whatever we have here. I know that down here, at the very least, yes, services are very much undersupplied, and I think coal can definitely help out here. Why? There comes the coal in. Yeah, we need to build more coal, we need to build more industry, and we need to properly industrialize so that we can uplift our people. You know what is actually kind of nice is the fact that we are in a position where for the very first time we have more bureaucracy than we need. And I think we're actually going to pick up some more here as well, if I saw this correctly. Where is it? Oh, we already picked it up. Central Archives. Oh, okay. So that means that I can actually up the production right here. I'm immediately going to do that, even if it costs us something here. And then I think the most important part here is that we increase our education levels. We need a smarter population so that we can put them into jobs and then from there turn them from laborers, of course, into machinists and so on. I don't necessarily think we care too much then again. Oh my god, I didn't even realize this. Our radical numbers are not satisfying. You know what, let's up these numbers. We're going to build administration as we need it. And yeah, let's just industrialize here. And wouldn't you know it, right away after they have been defeated when it comes to republic versus theocracy, we are going towards true democracy, towards freedom here, and the conservatives are saying, I would rather you didn't. Let's see how this goes. I would like to pass this, but this is definitely negotiable. We have been fairly restrictive when it comes to public speech and such, so we'll see. Oh, and you know what I actually really like? We can see now. Oh, I didn't know this. I thought that it would always show the most important interest group in any revolutionary movement right here, but you can see here it shows the landowners, whereas over here it shows the Catholic Church. You can actually see which particular interest groups get which province to actually flip. I like that. I had no idea that this is in, but yeah, that clearly indicates that the Catholic Church is the main problem. Yes, the landowners surely are doing a lot for rebellion right here, but it's these folks that are actually stirring most of the trouble. I guess it's... well, they're equally important, but I guess the Roman Curia isn't even running for elections. They just have that many influential people. And now let's talk a bit about international relations. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, we didn't do it as Iberia. I said that controlling the entire Mediterranean would have been awesome. Didn't really pan out. I'm gonna put something here as well into Germany, just so that we can keep track of it. The entire Mediterranean under our control wouldn't necessarily mean owning the entire coastline. It would mean owning all of the islands and, yeah, basically obviously the entry points, so that is Gibraltar right there and the Suez Canal. I would like to do this. I also obviously want some influence right here in China and maybe long-term in Indochina, but that is a bit of a, more future sound here for us, I think. Right now, I would be most interested in maybe picking a bit on Egypt. There's a lot of people that like Egypt, but I don't think Austria could intervene and defeat us. I don't think Prussia would intervene because they, of course, like us reasonably well as well. There you are, indeed. I think picking on Egypt, maybe grabbing Crete and then getting some influence in Greece and fighting for the Greece cause, of course, giving the Greeks, land right here in Europe. That would be pretty nifty for us. I think that is our short-term ambition here. Well, and there you go, it passed. We have right of assembly, and this is now actually the first time that we are truly a free and open republic. We have been very restrictive when it comes to the public speech, to the political speech that our citizens can do, but now we're at a point where that is no longer the case, and now I'm thinking, I mean, my god, killing off the civic nobility for good. It's a big step. I would actually prefer this. We just don't have mutual funds. I think we're going to wait. We're going to go for commercialized agriculture just because there are more people in favor of it rather than going for homesteading. I mean, then again, we are really, really led here by the rural folk. There's not... You know what, actually, this is their agenda. I'm just gonna do it. This is definitely something that they desperately want to do, even if nobody else cares for it. And you know, having a bit of a crisis at home while you are pushing something through and make it into law could never go without, of course, galvanizing this new agitation towards the foreign politics angle as well. We're gonna go and grab some land, just because everybody is so agitated. We might as well send them onto a bit of a campaign here. Egypt, I would actually like to take Crete. If we can get Crete, we have an access point into the Eastern Mediterranean towards Istanbul / Constantinople, towards Greece, and of course towards the Cyprus and what is this, the Aegean Islands as well. So I will in fact take a look at the 6.5 infamy. Wow, that is actually nothing. I'm going to go ahead and ask for this. And you know, we really do now have an intimidating army. I'm going to mobilize the main army right here. These are just skirmish infantry. We're going to keep 2 armies, and both of them are going to have plenty of lancers and artillery. But for the time being, this is just a defensive army, and this will be the aggressive army. So let's raise them, and let's make sure that Egypt will be plenty intimidated. And I really gotta say, honestly, I'm not even too unhappy with our navy. Obviously, we need a bigger one. Let's compare to our rivals here. 139, 231. Yeah, that is the British fleet. The Austrians have nothing anymore. They obviously got completely eviscerated. Tons of them were sitting in Venice. That is now ours. But yeah, Britain here, that is what really matters to me. I don't think we're going to be competing with them anytime soon, just because their actual GDP is far, far above ours, so we can't really maintain a comparable navy. But as soon as we make the jump to ironclad, I think that is when we are going to be building up a navy that hopefully is capable of, you know, just making sure that Italian interests are respected worldwide. And you know what? I actually am going to go ahead here. If Egypt is in a position where they want this war, where they accept that we will go to war, I'm going to additionally claim this treaty port. No boy, I just spied something quite significant, I think. Is your capital still in DC? Yeah, it is. Wow. This man has gotten rid of voting. Or at the very least, I'm not entirely sure. We have autocracy here now. Did they coup? Was there a coup in the United States of America? Right now, they are a presidential dictatorship here, but they are reintroducing landed voting. I did notice as well that they did actually ban slavery, which is fascinating to me because, well, they are in control. I guess that the movement just got so strong that the southern planters were forced to pass it and so basically forego the civil war and yet outlaw it. Very interesting. Oh, and Egypt just backed down. They didn't want to give us their treaty port, so now we ended up with Crete. Very, very nice. I love to see that. This means now that we have Crete, which is something that Greece really, really wants. We could theoretically, where is it? There it is. We could give them Crete for nothing, but obviously I'm not going to do this. How much are we talking in terms of infamy? 7.2 infamy right now. If I force them to be a protectorate, I may actually give them Crete. I may go ahead and give them Crete. The question is just, does Greece have any protectors here? Because I don't think they do. Wait a minute. I need to get rid... There we go. It has Russia, but that's about it. Yeah, I think the big choice here, obviously, we want to secure Tunisia, we want to secure Tripolitania and Greece. Those are the big ones. Then we have the Central Mediterranean locked down. And I don't really want to wait until the Russians, you know, make a move down here against the Ottomans. I'm going to go ahead, turn them into a protectorate, and if they agree, I will simply hand Crete over to them. Yeah, let's do it. You know, you can really see that there is a bit of a power vacuum right here as well. Nobody is really, you know, saying, hey, Greece is in my sphere, don't touch them. This entire area is completely underclaimed. We have Britain claiming this very aggressively. I think we had some claims over here as well. We had some expansion of by the British Raj at the very least. Yeah, people are getting involved everywhere but the Eastern Mediterranean. So this is definitely our time to move in here. And it's not like the Greeks really are well protected. Now, I do like to give them an option here. If they give in, of course, they, you know, get away slightly better. I will command a regime change in case the Bavarian king doesn't know the limits of his power. If the Bavarian king resists, I will institute a republic in Greece. That is exactly what we're going to do here. This way, they have something to back out of, should they indeed just back down instead of choosing war. should make it a bit likely that, or a bit more likely, I should say, that they just back down, which obviously is beneficial for everybody, right? Oh, and now something massive is happening in China. I don't know whether we have the reach. Honestly, I could see us having the reach. You know, historically speaking, obviously we are fairly detached. I mean, look at this right here. We are here, there's the only way going through Gibraltar. Protecting any possessions that we have in East Asia would be very, very difficult as soon as Britain says, no, 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 you can't pass through here. But realistically speaking, we had Prussia. Prussia, actually, I kid you not, right around this time, I think it was 1861 if I'm not mistaken, had an expedition that went to East Asia and negotiated with the Chinese, that negotiated with the Vietnamese and with the Siamese, and came back with concessions and treaties from all of them. Would you say Prussia in 1861 had the potential to protect its overseas possessions in East Asia? Obviously not, but they still did it. This isn't really ahistorical. I'm looking at this, and if we could press either of them into, you know, some serious considerations here. Oh, wait, what? We legally can't do it? Where did my interest go? Oh no, my interest disappeared for whatever reason. That sucks. Okay, well that means we can't participate in this play, but we could utilize it. Fun fact. Historically speaking, I kid you not, Prussia actually wanted to take Formosa, and so they didn't do it. For us, this means, though, maybe a treaty port is in the cards right here. Ooh, I do like Russia taking Vladivostok as well. Very, very interesting. The race for China is definitely up now. And wow, Greece really had the guts to go ahead. Well, that will be our very first warfare outside of Italy that actually matters. Obviously, we have a very bad invasion efficiency, but we have so many troops. Time to kick out the Bavarians from Greece. Yeah, and as you can see, our ship and our, indeed, invasion forces here, and obviously, I mean, come on. It's difficult because we have a very, very bad invasion efficiency here, but the Greeks basically have no troops. It is over for them. And it is over for him right here. King Otto von Wittelsbach will be kicked out. And what did I tell you? I told you people are now going for East Asia. We have the British push further into Burma. I think it really is time that when we are ready here, we're going to go for China. Once we are done with Greece, I think it is the right moment to do an expedition that brings us so much glory that everybody will indeed applaud our very liberal government. Now, people were already saying, by the way, that yes, we are Republican, but, you know, socialist, communist, none of that really has taken a hold of any of our population. Now, right here, as the conservatives, the reactionaries, are threatening rebellion, we have the Abruzzo Workers' Brigades. Armed workers affiliated with the trade unions, progressive factions, have volunteered to assist government forces in countering reactionary forces that would threaten Italy. And I'm gonna take this deal with Garibaldi, I think. I assume it is Garibaldi and his red shirts that are saying we are going to teach these leftover aristocrats a lesson. We'll need all of the support that we can get. The progress will go up, the trade unions will get some power, and wow, the paramilitary reinforcements here are actually really nice, and 5% of the trade union members become loyalists. That's not that much, but I'll take it. There you go, we have a peace deal. And I know that I said we would immediately basically go on and, you know, try to take down China, but honestly, we just got ironclads, we have this rebellion still brewing. I think we're gonna stay in the Mediterranean for the time being, but I will now very, very proactively start building up our beautiful, beautiful ironclads right here. And there's more technology, of course, coming our way here. We're looking at the Geopolitical that is really nice to reinforce your troops fairly quickly. And then long term, we are looking at the monitors. And to sustain all of that, obviously, we need to go towards gentry cranes here as well to get industrial ports. Let's do all that, and then we will get a proper overseas empire. And for the time being, Tripolitania is already in our market. And how is our infamy doing here? We are at 15. Unless Tunisia is desired by France, which I don't think they currently are, I think it's time that we declare Tunisia our protectorate. Yeah, protectorate sounds about right. Let's go with this, and then we have the central Mediterranean secured. But speaking of secured, I'm obviously going to go ahead, actually, and trade them a state. I will give them Crete. It's fine. You are, after all, my vassal, okay? So you can have this land because it's our land. And oh my god, we were so close to a revolution, but now homesteading has passed, and it remains to be seen just where the civic nobility ends up. They're at 70%, that's still so damn powerful. And they are now extremely angry. We'll see how that goes, okay? You know, it does look here as though neither side will actually win this. They look very, very equal. Let me take a look at the actual front line here. What are we seeing here? We have a ton of battles that are very close, but I think the Heavenly Kingdom is starting to run out of manpower. And whenever that happens, that basically seals the deal if you are on a very low tech level. The higher your tech, the easier will it be to reinforce your troops even after massive disasters. But yeah, I assume they're running on skirmish infantry, but yeah, look at that. They're running out of it. These are all new troops. The unit veterancy is very low. I think the Heavenly Kingdom is going to lose this after their frontline breaks. And bruh, I am hating that we have this particular truce right here. There is a democracy, well, not exactly democratic, but they are at the very least a presidential republic, and they are, of course, the industrialists, making it very likely that they would go democratic in due time. You can see it right. No, actually, they don't care about voting franchise, huh? Anyway, we would, of course, be supporting this capitalist revolt right here, but we can't because we still have a truce with Austria proper. And now Austria is being protected by Russia. We'll see how this goes. I assume, yeah, capital Prague means that there won't be any supply in these areas. I think the revolution may be doomed, but this is the uprising for Austria that, of course, was coming a long time now. Now, the election, on the other hand, is... Whoa! The Roman Curia, for the very, very first time now, is running for the election. After we have disenfranchised the civic nobility, the Roman Curia said enough is enough. And they're running for the conservatives, and they are getting a whopping 50%. A whopping 50%. We'll see, okay? We seem to have a bit of a dissonance here between our rural folk and the civic nobility and the Catholic Church. What exactly happens here is definitely unclear as of right now. The bets are off. And oh my god, in the end, China was actually incapable of containing the Heavenly Kingdom. And so we have a split right here. Would you look at that? A complete disaster for China. China is gone. Our China policy all of a sudden looks much less as us negotiating with a major factor in the region, and more, you know, similar to how you would maybe act, for example, in Vietnam, where you take bites and bits out of it. Yeah, once we have ironclads, we're gonna go to China. You bet on it. And man, things are really escalating. With us just, you know, playing empire building right here in our region, we are looking at Germany finally pushing for what they think is right. And that, of course, is Germany itself. Prussia has declared war against civil war-riddled Austria. This will be interesting. Austria is in a terrible position, but I think Prussia will be facing Russia. But there is, again, this civil war going on. I still don't think we can actually jump in because we have a truce, but my god, I would love to jump in and just, you know, for example, free Croatia, free Slovenia, something like that anyway. But listen, I got enough stuff to worry about as is. The conservatives have decidedly won the election. Now the question is, where do we go from here? They are jingoists. They want to spread the idea of an Italian empire ever further, which is very important. That is consistent with where we have been. The civic nobility is moderate, and quite frankly, they are the minor part of this coalition. Oh, and I didn't even realize this, but the armed forces have been marginalized. My god, they lost completely when it comes to relevance. Yeah, I probably need to build up more barracks. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to say here? We could roll this back, but honestly, I don't think the big partner in this coalition really cares about this. What would they care about? I can potentially see hereditary. Let me actually check. Hey, Roman Curia, what do you want to do? We got, oh, colonies. I think that is exactly what we're going to be doing. Colonial exploitation. Let's do this first because that is something that they very clearly feel motivated about. They are jingoists. They want an Italian empire. But I'm telling you right now, after this election victory, theocracy is on the menu. Yeah, okay, I can tell you one thing. The rebellion is definitely losing it. They're being pushed in. Russia is pushing into Galicia, Lodomeria right here. This will be a very clear victory. On the other side, we can't actually join in here, as I said, until 1868. Prussia is on its own, and they may be capable of doing it because Austria is very weak, but... yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's difficult. Russia has very bad troops, and it has troops that do not reinforce well at all. If they lose a couple of battles, and we've seen that actually in our war against them, they're toast. Prussia may have a shot here, but we can't be on their side, which is a huge shame. What you're seeing here, by the way, because if you've played this game, if you've played it in vanilla, then you will look at this and say, oh my god, China, first of all, is imploded. That's insane. And second of all, China is doing something after the implosion. The reason here is that I did a lot of editing in the Victoria Twigs mod, and the result is stuff like this. We have a real Thunderdome here now. They are escalating. The warlords are trying to take down stuff. They're trying to conquer. They're trying to destroy. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, look at this. We had this right now. We had Zhili being basically eviscerated, and now we are looking at none other than Manchuria and Xibei trying to fight it out. It's beautiful. I love it. Really, I do. I think Prussia actually has this. They have made their way through Moravia into Austria. Austria will be winning this civil war, at least it looks like it, because, well, the Republic is obviously defeated, since we couldn't help them. And Russia may be holding, they may be pushing in against the rebellion, but Prussia itself is standing its ground. Once the revolution ends, obviously some of the front lines will change. We'll have a very long front line then, but I think Prussia actually has this. Oh, I know. And it looks as though Shibei is completely annihilating Manchuria. We're going to see some big shifts there going forward. But yeah, look at that. That's what I was saying. Oh yeah, wow. Prussia is completely annihilating them. I think Germany is about to form, and pretty much on time. Yeah, and here you can simply see the difference between an army that is huge, an army that has so much potential, and my god, the Russians sure have a lot of lancers, but it doesn't do anything against a technologically advanced army. It also makes it so, and you will notice this right here, that low organization, yep, they can't actually maintain it, and the German skirmish troops are so much better equipped when it comes to technology. They're just gonna tear the Russians apart. The Russians won't be able to reinforce, and that's gonna be it, pretty much. Yeah, so I think we're now pretty close to understanding the warfare system in full in terms of discussing it and in terms of really evaluating what the consequences of this or that are. When we take a look at the battles right here, what we can see consistently is that obviously both sides are now losing when it comes to the manpower and their manpower potential. They're being worn down and worn out in later technological steps. So let's say, for example, trench infantry in the, what's it called, the NCS or whatever the hell it is, whatever comes after trench infantry. In those modes, you should be much more easily maintaining your armies for a long amount of time. That is, of course, what happened historically speaking with mass conscription and so on. But for the time being, especially if we, for example, look at this battle, they brought 49 brigades but only 32,000 manpower. The Prussians aren't that much better, but they are better. 31 brigades with 26.7k manpower, which means, proportionally speaking, the Prussians just have better units right now because they can actually reinforce them at a much better pace. We can see something very similar, you see it right here, between the Austrians and the Prussians as well, but again, in all fairness, the Austrians were in a civil war, so yeah, it is what it is. But this does mean that the superior technology of Prussia is winning them the day here. Germany is going to happen. Oh, and there they are. The NGF has formed, and if they have the approval in VTM, then they can actually form Germany right here as well, if the South Germans agree. If they don't, then they may have to go for Alsace-Lorraine. We shall see how that develops. Obviously, I actually, honestly, right now, am seeing NGF as our natural long-term friend. Yes, we have amazing trade relationships with France, but Savoy kind of still lingering there. If we ever go incredibly irredentist and we can't just push our anger towards Austria, France is the next logical goal, especially with Corsica as well. Germany, we don't have any claims towards them, they don't have any claims towards us. It is a perfect match. And yep, there they are. Germany has indeed spawned. And this is going to be very interesting. Now, we have a huge empire here. Their GDP is unbelievable. And it's going to become even more unbelievable. Germany is very powerful right now. So let's see what happens here, because this is going to be a mix-up, I think, in the concert of Europe. And man, listen, what did I tell you about the AI being very proactive with Victoria Tweaks mod? We have more war here, obviously, and Russia is seeing its opportunity. They are protectorating Manchuria. Yeah, it's basically over for them. At the same time, we have the British having turned Sokoto already into a dominion. What I now did and what I will be doing here is, I now have past colonial exploitation. The way I play this is I don't take anything in Africa until we have that. Now that we have it, I'm gonna go ahead and say, I also want some land. Dahomey, how about you become my protectorate? How do you, maybe, you know, maybe I'll just conquer you outright. Who cares? Let's do this. And let's see whether we can't pull this off so that we also finally have a place under the sun. And we have a new chancellor, and now we are cooking. Now we are cooking. Ludovico Samaruccio is a theocrat. Well, yes, we are a republic, but listen, I gotta do what I gotta do, right? I mean, what do you want me to say? It's like, that is the way the cookie crumbles. Is he a good political operator? That is the big question here, because if he isn't, he might try to push this through, even if it means a revolution. An opium addict, oh god. But he is a political operator, and he is ambitious. He is going to push for theocracy, but only in the next episode. I'm going to keep this currently where it is, because I think he's aware that if he did it right now, he would lose a civil war. So we're just gonna, you know, leave that in the air for the time being, and tomorrow will be the big project of us, hopefully, maybe, becoming a theocracy again, re-inviting the Pope. But before we do that, Currently, you can see it right here, we have won the war for Dahomey. And what I'm now going to do is, I'm going to create our very first regional army. I'm going to take a couple of these skirmish infantry right here. Let's say, I think 5 divisions should be enough for, you know, just a garrison in this region, basically. And then, which one of you stays here? Do I leave any of these folks down here? The armed forces are so irrelevant. I'm gonna keep Felice Mossi down here. Yeah, we're gonna put you into this new army that we just created. Now this is the actual home location right here. Boom, it is already set to it. In the meantime, you can just go back home. And honestly, I'm thinking about it now. I think I'm going to prepare a small navy detachment as well that we're also going to send down there. You just grab a couple of these boats, you grab one general, although you technically don't have to do that, and then you just station them forever down there. At least you can do that, obviously. I really like to play it that way, so that is exactly what we're gonna do. You're gonna go down there, you're going to indeed chill out right there, and I think that is everything we're gonna do here, just for the unit setup. We don't have any possessions anywhere else. Yeah, there you go. Now we have these troops, the main core of our army, basically, and then, of course, here the colonial troops. And I will immediately, why wouldn't I just use them? Borgu, how would you like to also become a part of the Italian Empire? Let me just check this 8.1, that should be fine. I'm gonna go ahead and... Oh, we are in this Greece Diplo play. As the last actor, I think we're just gonna go ahead claim Borgu, because in the next episode, I can already tell you that, we're gonna march into China, into Indochina, and... much more importantly, we are going to make some moves in Europe as well, I think. It is time that Austria leave. Currently, nobody except Russia... Oh man, people are warming up to Austria. People are not very friendly towards us anymore, huh? Russia dislikes us. Germany is cautious. Spain dislikes us. Britain... I mean, we are now... Oh god, I wanted to grab Congo. You son of a... Okay. There's gonna be some territorial disputes, okay? Let's clear up Borgu first, but yeah. I hate that the industrialists and the rural folk are as powerful as they are. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Ugo Tola, we cannot exile him. He has been the man of the hour for, well, everything Italy, basically. But I think the industrialists, Corrado Troisi, he turned right at the brink of Springtime of the Peoples. I'm gonna exile him, hopefully giving us a jingoist. Let's go. Because now, all of a sudden, things aren't looking any different at all. Right. We didn't roll a theocrat, but he no longer is very angry at it. I think we're gonna push for theocracy. If the conservatives win another election in this episode here, then we're gonna do it. Yeah, and the convenient thing here now is for sure that I can simply mobilize these folks right here. Boom, all of a sudden they are ready, they are right where they belong because this is their home HQ, meaning they don't need to travel, I don't need to worry about any of this, and we can just send them in. And look at that, Manchuria is now a protectorate for Russia, but they are still going in against Shaanxi here. Do they have any troops? They got 11 troops, okay, we'll see about this, okay? For the time being, we are winning, and always remember, yes, who unified Italy? It was the Republicans, but who is making Italy an empire? It's the conservatives. It's the Roman Curia. And I think that is something that we should respect. And look at that. So we now actually do have a localized colonial conflict. And there they are fighting. Our troops against theirs. And of course, I mean, the victor here is going to be pretty straightforward. Easy dub. I still find this extremely sad Mongolia so funny. They're just sitting here in the British market. Wait a minute, what? Why are you in the British market? Wow, they're sitting there and they're starving. Amazing. It looks like Manchuria actually wasn't that great an investment for Russia anyway, by the way, because they lost this territory right here. Shenyang has fallen. And I'm thinking about this. We have previously attempted to work together with Anhui, but Anhui has so much population. A treaty port here would be genuinely amazing. I gotta say, listen. This really is Italy. Back and forth, back and forth. I love how absolutely wild this is. Well, look who's back. We could do the most insane coalition that you could ever see. But hey, listen, I love the back and forth. If anybody ever wins decisively, I'll take it. But right now, we are back in the hands of the hero, Ugo Tola. He's not an opium addict, so... makes a lot of sense that people would trust him a bit more. You know, I'm thinking... wait, who is this? This is the intelligentsia. I am thinking that the intelligentsia maybe is essentially convinced that if we went with a presidential system, the president would make it so that there would be more stability in the country, which is why they're in favor of it. Honestly, It's not a bad idea. Let me just double check whether there's anything else here. I definitely think that they might be in favor of going with illegal guardianship here entirely because it would weaken the church. We might want to switch here, but it's not really urgent. Here, we're not too interested in it. I think we might be looking at it. Oh, guaranteed liberties is an interesting one. A lot of fans of this one, and a lot of people that just don't care. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pivot us towards a presidential republic. This is something the intelligentsia believes will give them more stability, but it might very well backfire because instead of the very fluid back and forth, if you win the election, you win the election. Let's see how it goes. Oh, and so much is happening here towards the end. Listen, I'm just fighting a casual war against Ashanti. It's going fine. We're gonna be glorious and victorious. Don't worry about it too much. But this, not this, this is stupid. That is way more interesting right here. We have a revolution in Turkey. We have a Serb uprising. And I wager we should hop in here. We should jump in here. Now let me ask you. Oh, can we extend this? We could look to liberate Bulgaria, but I'm not that interested in Bulgaria claiming this because we already have a vassal in Greece. But then again, honestly, hey, knocking them down anywhere sounds amazing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to say I would like to liberate Bulgaria indeed. Does it say how much this will cost me in terms of... Won't this cost me in infamy? I don't want to go over here. It did not actually cost me anything in infamy, so here we are. We are now on the side of the Serb uprising and... Oh, my friends, now is the time. We shall free the Balkans. We are getting ready to rumble. And oh boy, I am actually quite impressed by the army that the Ottomans are bringing here. They got lancers and mobile artillery, but that will not last against our, of course, Shrapnel artillery and our skirmish infantry. We're winning here in the defense, we're winning on the offense, and we were fairly late to actually come in here and defend this, but we will be ready. And you can see it here already. Oh, right, you're just skirmish infantry. You want to defend the front until you actually get your shrapnel artillery, which I will now build you. Okay, I'm a bit late on this, don't worry about it, okay? We're doing fine. Our economy, by the way, is now finally also thriving. We're at almost 40 million, which is pretty close to France. Germany is taking off, my god, Austria is screwed, but that's not a secret. I took their coal. I took their most important... I think sulfur exists here in Venice as well, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this may be the only sulfur. Oh my god, they don't have any sulfur. Yeah, Austria is done for. Look at them go, biting their way through the Ottoman forces right here. We are now far superior. They are nowhere near as good when it comes to recovering their troops. This is going to be nasty for them. We're going to dismantle them here, and we're going to strengthen Serbia quite a bit, which you don't see often at all. This uprising has been very convenient. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I underestimated the Ottomans. You can see that we are barely holding on here, actually. Let me take a look at their army. Oh, it's these 1 million lancers. Jesus Christ. What is your commander like? Is your commander particularly good? Experienced offensive planner. Plus 10% kill rate. Jesus Christ. Okay, I understand. I get it. I even did a naval invasion, and quite frankly, they surrounded me, and yeah, they're killing me. So, all I'm saying is... they're offering us white peace. Everybody's willing to accept it. They're not getting... but I really need them to get Bosnia, just for aesthetic purposes. Come on, right? But then again, honestly, now I'm worried that they might actually push me out. Oh, hello, Romania. How are you doing? Good for you. Wait, are you a protectorate? Oh, just a defensive pact. That's fine. Let's take this white piece. We can get Bosnia to be free eventually. Obviously, that is something we can liberate as well. Right now, they're going to be cut off. It is what it is. I will accept this deal. Make it happen. Captain, there you go. Serbia has been in the Austrian market. That's kind of weird. We didn't get what we wanted, but we got a weakened Ottoman Empire, and I learned a lesson that if the enemy actually has a lot of horses, be afraid and bring very defensive units, which I explicitly didn't. But we expanded right here. We are going towards the Presidential Republic, and my god, am I excited. Look at this China. Nothing, Geely is completely dead now. Nothing is recognizable. I love it. I really, really do. I like the Thunderdome right here. I just hope that eventually they actually take care of the main government of China, because once the tag China is gone, they can actually form a new China, which would be super cool to see in a playthrough. Anyway, obviously, if I can't even defeat the Ottomans easily, then maybe I need God. Maybe Ugo Tola here is bad because he doesn't lead me any closer to God. I'll see you next episode. This is quite exciting because, damn, I just lost. Well, I didn't win, I should say, which is very surprising to me. I will see you later, alligator.